Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, we are a minimalist family who is living big with less. And today I thought I would go through some of the frequently asked questions that I get and some of the question deep cuts that I get that I think maybe you guys have been wondering, maybe you are too nice to ask. So if you have got some curiosities, hopefully in this video I will be able to answer all of them for you. All right, guys, I absolutely love to hear from you, and you guys leave me some absolute pearls down in the comments, and sometimes I'll reply to your comment, but not everyone will see it, and so I thought I might just do a video about some questions that come up quite regularly, or maybe there's something you've thought about yourself but you haven't asked me, so I thought I would put it all on the table and get deep and real with you guys in some of our Q&A deep cuts. So without further ado, let me get started. Now, some of these questions were asked so nicely and with such kindness, and I would say 99% of the comments I get are so sweet. Of course, this is the internet, and so some of these questions that come up have a little bit of sass, but at the risk of trying to justify myself, I just thought I would answer them in case they were something that you had been curious about also. So let's get started. The first question that I get asked a lot, which was not even something that ever occurred to me people would be curious about because I'm Australian, is about our security screens. People are like, did you move into a bad area? Why do you have bars on your windows? What is the go with the security screens? So here in Australia, obviously it is super hot. So security screens, which is what you see on all of our windows and doors, are super common. And I would say most homes have some version of them. The version that we have is probably the most common, with like a grill on the outside and then a light fly wire on the inside. Basically, it's so that we can keep our windows and doors open without having mosquitoes, flies, snakes, spiders, all the things that we have here in Australia come into our homes. So that is basically what they're for. They're also so that you can leave your windows open when you go out without having someone break into your home. So if you shut up your home in the summer here, it would be like walking into a sauna when you got home. So the ability to be able to leave at least, you might still shut your doors, but at least to leave your windows open makes it much cooler. So it's super common here in Australia, whether you live in a great area or a not so great area. That is why we have them, and they're just really common. So I also put these questions out on all my social medias. If you're not following me, get on and follow us to see if you guys had any questions that maybe you'd be too embarrassed to ask before. And I got quite a few questions about my eldest stepchildren. I've had some comments on the channel previously, so I thought I would answer some of those for you. Some of them were, why do I refer to them as our children? This seemed a little strange to me, but basically, I never want them to feel like they are any less family than how I would refer to my own children. So that is why I do it. I don't think they watch every video I make, but they certainly like to watch the ones that they're in, and I would never want them to feel anything other than loved and accepted and as much a part of this family as everybody else. So that's why I do it. I'm not going to stop doing it. That's just how it is. Do they call me mum? Was another question I got, and the answer is no, they just call me Sarah. I've been in their lives for a long time. They've always called me Sarah. It doesn't bother me. I love the relationship I have with them. Occasionally, if they're really excited to tell me something or if they need something, just like if they had a teacher, they'll often let the mum slip. I know that they're talking to me. I don't ever correct it or make a big deal out of it. I just answer them and we move on. Occasionally my own kids, my biological children, call me Sarah. I don't make a big deal out of it, and it's never been a problem. Another question they got was, what does their mum think about us being minimalists? And to be honest, it's never really come up. We just do our thing. She does her thing or what works for their family. Everybody's happy. They enjoy their time at both homes. So there's never been a problem. I think that was pretty much all the questions about Seth and Ruby. So I'll move on to some of the other ones that I got. One of them I thought was such a good question, and it was, at what point do I think people are considered a minimalist? I am all about real life minimalism, like showing people that there's going to be mess and it's okay with whatever it looks like for you. So I would say it's less of how it looks and more of how your mindset has changed. So when you start to get into that mindset of, I actually want to live with less items and I want to bring less items into my home and I'm going to be a lot more intentional, I feel like as soon as that shift has happened, that's when you're on your journey to minimalism, and then whatever it looks like for you in this current moment is perfect. That might look like heaps of homeschool supplies because you're homeschooling your kids. Awesome. And that's only for a season. And so, you know, once that season's over, you might want to have less books or whatever. But I just think however it looks for you right now is absolutely perfect. All right, somebody asked, how old am I? I am 33. Next month I will be 34. You can let me know down in the comments if you thought I was older or younger. Be nice. The next question I got, and I've had these types of questions before about screen time with kids and how do we manage it, how much time do we give, and all that sort of thing. Our kids are all different ages, and so there really is different amounts for each age. We use a program called Circle, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It allows me to see how much time the kids have used in any given app. On my phone, I can turn the internet off, I can turn the internet on, I can pause it, I can set limits by app. So, you know, I could set 20 minutes on YouTube Kids and then cut it off. I love it. It works really well for us. My husband and I have limits set for all the kids, and then once they've reached that limit, if there's a reason they need more, if they're sick and they're watching a movie, that's fine. We can give them more time. If they're working on a homework assignment and they need longer on the internet for XYZ reason, we can do that. But I would much prefer to be reminded that, hey, they've been on for X number of minutes. Do you want to let them have more than to lose track of time and have it be like a super long time? Another thing for us, who we absolutely love all the geeky things, we love tech, but we're also really mindful that we don't want our kids to be on devices all the time and we don't want it to be an addiction issue. One of my rules is to create more than we consume. Apps that are just consumption based, so like YouTube Kids and things like that, I limit a lot heavier than I do other things that are using their brains, reading apps, that sort of thing. So I'm actually less concerned with how much time they spend on a device and more concerned with what apps are they using on that device and how long are they spending on it. So that's how we manage screen time. I know it's a really sensitive issue and everyone has an opinion, and at the end of the day, you just need to do what's right for you and your family. Another question I've also got today and quite a few times previously is, do we want to have more children? The answer is yes. Like, we love children. Our children are a blessing. However, my pregnancies were terrible. And this last one, basically they said, look, the stress on your body was not good, and they highly recommended that I did not have any more children. Of course, I'm sure if it did happen that they would find a way to make it work. I'm also very aware that basically I'm so ill for 9 months that it would mean missing out on 9 months of my kid's life. And so I don't think it will be through that way, but we have not shut the door on other ways to welcome children into our family. We'll just see what God has in store for us. All right, I got a question about what do I use to clean my windows, because I have a lot of windows and I also have a lot of mirrored cupboards. At the moment, I use a whole lot of things, but at the moment I use a plain microfiber cloth that's slightly damp with warm water and a Norwex window cloth. I just find that I'm getting the best, least streaky results, and it also meant that I didn't have to buy a product like Windex. I don't have any problem with Windex. It was just one less thing that I'd have to remember to buy, so that is working for now, but I've used them all. I still love Windex. I think it's great. When I used to have all mirrored things that I would do every week, I would still use like a window cleaning product, but here in this house where it's not quite as frequent, I'm finding that the Norwex cloth does a great job. I also get lots of comments and questions about doing lots of vegan or vegetarian meal inspiration. To be honest, I quite like doing it. It's not that I don't like to do it. It makes me a little bit nervous because people get really nitpicky around food specifically. Even grocery hauls are probably where I get the most negative comments. I'm of the belief that I'm not going to speak to what anyone else should eat or how they should construct their diet. You know, I'm happy to show what we do. The reality is you get slammed for it. Unless you are making completely whole food, organic, without a skerrick of plastic, that is, you know, comes from a farmer who does not do anything wrong, like, there are going to be people who disagree with you, and that's fine. I don't mind people. I don't think that everyone has to disagree with me. However, it does make it hard to share what you're doing, knowing that you're going to get criticized no matter what it is. I also found myself falling into this trap of being less authentic. Like, yes, I do buy things. I'm not a good baker. I'm not a terribly good cook. And my time is limited. Some of the things that we buy are convenience items or a little bit easier for me to cook, that are a little bit more foolproof. And if I don't show you doing that, if I show you me making everything from scratch, because I do that maybe once or twice a week, I feel like I'm being a little bit less authentic with you, because I do buy, you know, vegetable meats and all those sorts of things. So it's a bit of a to and fro with how I'm going to put it out, and I'm still working that out. And maybe I just need to get a thicker skin about it, but that's where I'm at with it right now, is that I am happy to share it. It's just a matter of me, I guess, working out how I can be authentic and still share with you what I really do, and maybe just cop the criticism for it. All right. Last question. It was from my sweet friend Jackie. If we could live anywhere in the world, where would we live? There are so many places that we would love to live. I think Japan would be really high on our list. I think it really sums us up. It's a very minimalist culture. It's very clean. I quite like the idea of all of that. So I think I would love to live in that environment for a while. I also, before I had kids, before I was even married, New York City holds a very near and dear place to my heart. I've been to New York. I loved it. I think I would love the experience of city living, so that would be up there. But also, you know, like, I'm also up for a cabin in the woods with like no one around for heaps of kilometers. But, you know, one of them, either in the mountains somewhere or in a big city, I would love to just experience those different types of lifestyles. So guys, I hope that this has maybe shed a bit of light on who we are and maybe answered some questions that you might have had. I hope that I am super authentic. I try and be my true self for you guys, because I know that we are all doing our very best, and that when you see someone else, that you want them to be the real them. So I hope that that's what comes through on my videos. I would love to hear from you and chat with you down in the comments. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you as part of our YouTube family. Here are some other videos that are like this one that we think you might like. So if you haven't seen any of our other Q&As, please check those out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.